Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Tom Osmond. I'm a strength and conditioning coach and personal trainer, and my mission for this channel is to educate and inspire people to transform their physique through strength training. Most of my training's been centered around trying to improve my physique, but I feel like for effective long-term motivation, training for strength keeps you much more engaged in the process and will yield you better results long-term as opposed to just focusing on training for hypertrophy the whole time. So I'm going to document my journey to trying to hit a 260 kilogram deadlift, 220 kilogram bench squat, and 160 kilogram bench press. And this is the first time I've ever just trained for strength, and I'm going to do this for the next 12 weeks and record each session so you can follow along the journey with me. So today was the first day of week 2 of this program. And you can see here I'm just warming up for back squats. In this session today I do back squat, bench press, overhead press, and I finish with some pull-ups. So here, the only warm-up I really do for squats is grabbing the empty bar and then progressively building up in weight. And here I'm building up to a heavy single for the day. But I used to be that guy that just goes into the gym, does like loads of stretching, foam rolling, activations, mobilizations, all that kind of stuff. And I've been training for almost 12 years now, and I feel like I've tried nearly everything. And for me, personally, I didn't feel any real benefit from that. So now I just keep it really simple, stick to trying to hit good positions in my warm-ups and then build up in weight. So this is my last warm-up set on 160. Bar speed was still good, so from here I jumped up to 170. And the plan for the day was to build up to an RPE8, and this set probably is an RPE8, but for whatever reason I went heavier after this. You can see at the very top of the rep, probably the last half of the ascent, I start to shift forwards a little bit. So just here you can see me shift forwards, so I need to stay middle of the foot a little bit more, keep the bar back a little bit more. But yeah, as I said, that probably was about an RPE8, but I went up to 180. And this rep looks a little bit more grindy, but I'm still reasonably happy with it. I take quite a wide stance now. I used to squat a lot narrower, but I've struggled on and off a bit of knee pain caused by my gracilis tendon, and for whatever reason going that little bit wider just seems to not aggravate it as much, and touch wood, I'm not getting any pain at the moment. From there I dropped back down to about 85% of my predicted 1 rep max from that previous set for a set of 5, which is this set here on 155. Again, bar speed starts to slow down a little bit here, but overall I was happy with the set. And I think from this angle my depth doesn't look too good, but from the side angle it looks okay, so I don't know if it was just that set or not, but it felt like I was going to the same depth there. And then from there I dropped down to 75% for 3 sets of 4. I probably should have rested for a little bit longer in between these sets, but I trained quite early this morning and wanted to get it done before work, so I did rush through it a little bit. And as you'll see on some of these later sets, it slows down more than it should. But yeah, I was just in a rush to get it done. And from here I'm going to build the volume on these sets each week, so I'll add another back off set next week. And the program structure, I'm going to try and lift 4 days per week. So as I mentioned, this is the main squat and bench day, and I'm only doing 4 exercises per session, which feels really uncomfortable for me at the moment because I'm used to doing higher training volumes. But like I said at the start of this video, I just want to focus on getting stronger for these 12 weeks and see where I can get to, bearing in mind those goals I set for myself. What I'm coming to realise is, even if you think you're training at a high intensity, when you're doing more higher volume or bodybuilding type programs, you feel like session by session you are giving it everything, but when you start to strip back to less exercises or even less working sets, so last week I just did 3 working sets on each of these key lifts, you realise how much more you can give and how much of a higher intensity you can train at when you start to strip it right back. So I'm going to stick with those slots of just 4 lifts per session and really see where I can push to. I mentioned I made my stance a bit wider as well. The other thing that helps me do is keep better lumbar-pelvic control. So again, going back to I've been squatting for like 12 years and used to struggle with going in too much extension, then getting what people call butt wink, but you're just starting in too much extension. So going wider helps me to bring my pelvis back under me into a more neutral position, which is the other benefit I find I get from standing a bit wider. So moving on to bench press, again, same principle as squats. The only real thing I do for warm-ups is just starting with the empty bar and building up in weight. So I go just the bar, then 60, then up to 100, and the same as the squat, I'm building up to a single here for the day at about an RPE 8 again, and then from there doing a set of 4 at 86ish%, and then dropping down to 80% for another 3 sets of 4. So that was my last warm-up set before my first single. So got up to 130 here. I thought this might be the heaviest I go for the day, but this moved pretty quickly. So I went up to 135. I thought I recorded the rep of 135, but it's not showing in this video for some reason. But again, it moved pretty well, slowed down a little bit at the sticking point, but not too much, and probably was an RPE 8 for the day. So from there, dropped down to 86%, so 125 based off that previous set, and did a set of 4. And this set felt good as well. Can't pick out too much wrong with that. The main things I focus on for bench are just lifting my chest as high as I can, and then trying not to think about it too much, which is what I typically fall into the trap of doing, is just overanalyzing every lift and getting too stuck in the detail of little things I need to tweak here and there. So trying not to think and just focusing on just moving the weight, as simple as that sounds, really helps me. There's a lot of research on focus of attention, so focusing your attention externally as opposed to internally can help you lift more weight. So for an example on this bench press, if I think about pushing myself away from the bar, that would be focusing externally as opposed to, retracting my shoulder blades or some of those other common cues you might hear. So once I'd done that set, then I dropped down to 80%, again using that previous prediction, so that was 115 for me today, for another 3 sets of 4. And all of these moved pretty comfortably. Again, because I was in a bit of a rush this morning, I didn't rest that long in between each set. I was just trying to get through it. So they were my key lifts done for the day. Then I finished with some accessory work, which today was overhead press and pull-ups. They're both 2 really weak exercises for me, so I'm going to try and get them in a couple of times a week as well. Obviously away from my main focus on squat, bench and deadlift, but they'll obviously support me in getting those lifts stronger as well. And yeah, I don't know what it is about overhead press and pull-ups, if it's just like my levers or what, but yeah, they both feel really hard for me. But for how long I've been training, I should be able to do a lot more than I can do. But I did my first set on 45 there, and then went up to 50 sets of 10. I think I missed a rep on this set, and then I dropped back down to 45 and missed a rep on that set as well, and then finish with pull-ups. So overall, decent session for the day, and yeah, good start to the week of training. So tomorrow, as I mentioned earlier in the video, I've got my main deadlift day, which I'm switching to sumo, and then some incline bench and split squats. But I'll try and consistently upload each day and get my 4 sessions in per week. Working in the gym, I find it quite hard sometimes to limit myself to train to 4 times, because when you're in a gym, you just think, I might as well go and train like at the start or end of my day. But as I start to lift heavier and heavier, I'm going to need to give myself time to recover from each session. So I'm really going to try and limit myself to 4 times per week, and then if I do feel like I need to go and do something, I'll just do some like GPP work, like a bit of aerobic conditioning or trunk work and that kind of stuff. So that is it for my first video. Hopefully you found it useful, and as I mentioned at the start, the purpose of this channel is to inspire and educate people to transform their physique through strength training. So I will be doing some more educational videos in the future, but for now most of it's probably going to be this type of stuff, documenting my own training and then just dropping in little pieces of information here and there throughout, like I did in this one. So thanks for watching, and hopefully see you in the next one.